One really cool video, and I really highly encourage everyone, if you don't follow the Future Academy, if you're starting a business, I highly recommend it. So everything that I'm about to talk about today, I literally took from them. So being a key person of influence, it all starts with personal brand. So it's all about personal brand. And right now it's the fastest way to grow your business right now is being a KPI. And the reason why is because once you establish that trust with the consumer, then you can then transfer that, to your brand, right? Because it's going to be so much better, right? Like we're all human, so we have a personality. And so businesses don't. So one of the things that we usually do in marketing is we try to give a business a personality. And now people are just kind of like, well, you know what, let's just send people, like our people out there, to give our business personality. And that's kind of how they do that. And they do that until the actual business has like its own personality, because oftentimes it's like I'm tasked to, kind of go out and like, hey, Ro, like, rebrand like this company. And sometimes it's really hard because it's like, I don't understand the company yet. A lot of questions to be asked. There's a lot of people in the company, a lot of moving parts. And so that's just kind of like one way of doing it is like people that are in the company that know it best and kind of go out on their social media and out in the world. And they kind of, they become these personalities that then transfer over to the business. So this is kind of like the cool part, right? KPIs, they have about twice as many followers as the businesses that they represent. So as an example here, I just took screenshots really quick of Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, right? Like he has 13.7 million followers on Twitter. And the company he represents, Apple, has 8.7 million. So that's like double what the company, you would think that Apple, everybody knows Apple. Not really that many people know about Tim Cook. But they did a really good job of just, bumping up his personality and him as a person and how he can kind of transfer that into his company, right? So, again, at the end of the day, Apple is just a company. It's just a business. It's kind of cold, right? So they put who the face of Apple is Tim Cook. He's one of the many faces, actually. But as an example, that's how people are using it nowadays. And that's not really a coincidence. That is really like, there's a lot of like brain power going behind all this. So the other one would be Elon Musk. He's been on the news a whole lot these days, but right now he has 113.7 million followers, and his company Tesla only has 17.6 million. I mean, not only as if 17.6 million is nothing, but compared to 113.7, I mean, that's way more than twice as many followers. And so that's just a really good example. And so, one of the ways right now, like Elon Musk, like hate him or like him, he's all over the news because he, that's his way of like branding. Like, let me just kind of say something outrageous, or let me go and buy a social media platform, and it's all over the news, right? So that's just like ways that a lot of these CEOs and a lot of people are actually selling their business nowadays. Is they go out and they do these things out in the world, and then people just know that, oh yeah, Elon Musk, he owns Tesla. So then they eventually look into his company. So this is an example of how a person of influence goes so much further than a logo, right? Because a lot of times when I'm tasked to rebrand and to work on branding, the first thing that people think about is the logo. And a lot of times, a lot of people get caught on the name of the company and the logo. And nowadays that's not really taking a backseat, but it's definitely like getting further along back, just because people identify with people way more than they do a logo. So here's a really good example right here. The Google logo, right? You've seen this a million times. What's the color of the first G in Google? Like, be honest. Like, I actually didn't know when I first saw this, so I thought it was pretty cool. Some of you guys might know, you guys are geniuses, but I actually didn't know, and it's funny because I'm on Google all the time, so it's just really funny. So I'm gonna give you guys like 1 minute to think about it. Not actually a whole minute because this would be a really boring live stream. But anyways, ready? It's blue. So I don't know how many of you guys actually knew that it was blue or guessed. I actually didn't know what color it was when they blocked out on this little exercise. So, and again, that's just because I just thought it was a really cool exercise, because how many times are we on Google every single day, like multiple times a day? So for us not to remember, most of us not to remember what color the letter G was, that's pretty incredible. You know what I mean? But again, it all goes back to, you know, we as people, when we see a face, when we see a person, we automatically can, you know, identify with it. We can, you know, relate to it. We're going to remember it, you know, 9 times out of 10. So that, I just thought that was really, really cool. Cool. So why should companies like have a KPI, right? Why should you want to be a key person of influence? And the simple really answer is just inbound opportunities, right? So if you're out there in the world and you're going public and you're doing live streaming and you're doing podcasting and you're doing shorts and reels and all this stuff, people are going to know who you are just like naturally. So you no longer have to go out and chase opportunity, because if you're going out and you're being who you are, right? And you also don't want to be ashamed of, you know, being too like salesy, because you want people to know what you do. Just like me, right? Like you all know me as me, a friend, coworker. But at the same time, it's no secret that I do branding, right? I really let people know online that that's what I do. Like I'm a brand specialist, creative director, all the things, marketing, right? Content creator. I let everyone know that, because it's just a part of me, you know? So that is like one thing that, you know, one of the main reasons why you'd want to do this is because, you know, right now, especially like in the mortgage industry, like it's really hard to make sales right now because of all the current market and things like that. So instead of going out and chasing and trying to figure out who can buy a house, well, just by doing simple things like going live, putting content up there, people are just going to know who you are, and the word's going to get out there, you know, and depending on what kind of content you do, the word's really going to get out there. Like Elon Musk, the dude is crazy. And, you know, all this, there's other people too. There's Richard Branson from Virgin Mobile. Like, you know, there's so many people that are doing this right now. And that's why, because they just get business at this point. They don't have to really go out and sell that much. So to become a person of influence, this sounds kind of weird, but you have to do there's 4 P's involved, right? One of them is publish content. Like you can do books, podcasts, blogs, anything to like have your audience be able to deep dive into what you're doing, right? You really want people to really get to know you. Not really what you sell, but just to get to know you, your mission, your passion. So you want to publish content in whatever form it can be, and in as many forms as it can be also. And then like the second P is product ecosystem. And this is very, very, you know, what I kind of goes along with the first one, right? What I just said. A lot of KPIs, they don't sell their product, they sell themselves, you know, like in a way, like it's just getting to know them. And they don't really sell their time for money. So oftentimes you'll see a lot of these people like on podcasts, on live streams and all that, because in a way it's just PR. It's just a way for them to get the word out there, right? And they're not going out there, you know, like Elon Musk isn't going out there trying to sell Tesla. He's just going out there, you know, doing podcasts and just acting a fool, you know? So that's usually, you know, that's the second P. The third one is profile, right? Like, you wanna go on these platforms to build a profile, like build who you are, and you can do that by doing traditional media, social media. You can become a public speaker, you can become a podcast host, and the fourth one, which is a really good one, it's partnership. A lot of these KPIs, what they do, especially when they're starting out, right? Because let's forget about all these really the big wigs, some of the smaller people, what we do is what you can do is if you don't have a big audience, right? You want to partner with somebody who does have a big audience, or if you have a podcast and your podcast isn't that small, you want to partner with somebody who has a bigger following than you. That way you can kind of share and partner with all those leads and connections and however you want to view them. So those are the 4 P's of being able that you have to do to become a key person of influence. Anyways, guys, so I just really want to thank everyone for watching, and I will see you guys next time.